How's it going, guys? Dylan from Luxury Lives On, and I hope everyone's doing well today. Today I'm standing in front of our 2007 Bentley GT. When this car came out, with inflation calculated, it was over $300,000. And today you can fetch them for almost a quarter of that, which leads you to a rather tricky proposition. You see, you're trying to get a new car, but it's kind of boring. So should you invest that money into something interesting? But this is the catch-22. Sometimes things are more than meets the eye. You see, you may be able to afford to buy a Bentley GT, but can you afford to maintain it? This video, well, may surprise you. I have a theory. There's one reason why these cars have plummeted, one reason why they've stayed there, and one reason why they won't go up. In fact, it's probably not a reason, it's a word. The word stigma. You see, there's a stigma around Bentley. There's actually a stigma around luxurious cars today in general. And the main reason being is because, well, we've inherited this stigma from their old brothers and sisters. You see, Bentley used to be known for its elegant exterior design and luxurious interiors. But now we have wisdom. You see, we've been able to look at these cars over 60 years and see their angst, their problems. And the main thing is, they're horrible to maintain. Parts are expensive and, well, you don't want to have to invest in a car that's just going to break down. There's also another thing. The demographic's totally different. You see, the people that used to buy these cars wouldn't necessarily care. They would hand the car off to the mechanic shop because, well, let's be honest, the guy that used to own this car had a toupee and a chauffeur named James.
Sir, where would you like me to drop you in the Bentley?
But now there's smaller barriers to entry. See, the type of people that buy this car, well, they don't buy it to be chauffeured around. They buy it to go over 200 miles an hour. And everyone wants a piece of that. Now this is the key to the Bentley GT. But I don't mean it's just the key, it's the key. Like, metaphorically speaking, it's the key to the reliability of this car. Because you see, this key is shared with a Volkswagen Passat and a Bugatti Veyron. And the main reason being is because Volkswagen owns everyone. Lamborghini, Bentley, Bugatti, and many more impressive companies. And that equals one big parts bin of tried and tested parts that they can share and use, well, intelligently on all of their different vehicles. That's why this car is so solid. Now you're probably thinking, well, Dylan, why don't I just buy a Beetle and put a Bentley badge on it if you love VW so much? You see, it's not all VW, just some of the boring mechanical and electric bits they put a little bit of influence on. It's actually the British part that where the romance comes in, where the parts and materials come. There's leather here probably from 10 different cows and, well, the wood from 10 different trees. And the really interesting part about that, and I can tell you now because we've had this car for so long and it is over a decade old, is the materials haven't changed. Because the quality is so high in the thickness of the paint, and because the leather is such a high quality and the wood is such a high quality, the interesting thing is you find that it all beats the test of time. And that's where a lot of your money's worth comes and you don't even realize it. The car looks brand new because it's so quality. This is really where you test, well, why the hell do you buy a Bentley? This is why. Because you can get in a Bentley 10 years later and it looks fresh as hell. Now you're probably thinking by now, well, Dylan, this review has been absolutely useless. We've only found out that the car must be perfect. Well, no fear, I'll tell you how your Bentley can brake. But it has nothing to do with this. The engine's pretty solid, actually. The real thing you have to be concerned about with these cars, interestingly enough, is the weight. It's a 6,000 pound two-door, which is kind of crazy to think about. In fact, it weighs more than our Rolls-Royce Phantom. And all that weight means something. You gotta think about characters like Shaquille O'Neal. When they're young, they're fresh, they're amazing, but all that weight bears on their knees, breaks them down over time. And the same is true with the Bentley. In fact, one of the major issues is the suspension points. Where the suspension kicks in, it actually pounds it and breaks that away. And not only that, a lot of the costs with a Bentley may not necessarily be the maintenance, but it's actual simple things like replacing parts. You're still kind of replacing Bentley parts. You can be clever and probably find equivalents in that parts bin I spoke about and get something from Lamborghini or Volkswagen that fits here and there. But a lot of it actually is going to be really costly. And you have to also think about the fact that annual services are going to be expensive, tires are going to be expensive. You know, you may have bought the car for a good amount, but you're still maintaining a Bentley, an over $300,000 car. Now to make this review of the maintenance of the Bentley GT a little more reliable, I've contacted, well, the most reliable thing on planet Earth, the internet, of course. So don't quote me. But the funny thing is I've looked up these things as well, and all the things I told you were really our personal experiences, which is what's really actually interesting to hear. But the internet says that really this car doesn't have any issues either. I'm looking at an article from evo.co.uk.com about the original Bentley. It says the engine, the W12, is a dependable unit. The transmission is very reliable, although it's slow. The suspension and brakes, well, the dampeners give no trouble. The bodywork and interior is great because it's such a good quality, like I said. And then the article just runs out. The other great thing about this car is, well, it pretty much looks like Bentley's look. Yes, it's been facelifted, the new ones even come out, but that general sloping rounded look is virtually the same. Everything is just an adaptation or an evolution of what it used to look like. The taillights are narrower. You still have the twin double headlights in the front. The wheels are different, but you still have that same grille. And then the interior components are the same but upgraded. So this car really is a great buy in terms of the fact that it still looks relevant. And the main reason being is because, well, when these luxury cars come out, they're designed to last. It's not like a Toyota Corolla that's going to be revised in 3 years. These cars are designed to last 10 years. And the only thing that changes is little facelifts and Botox here and there. That's why it makes such a great value proposition to get one of these as well. And that's why I think they're so undervalued, because not only is it not going to break down while you're driving it, but when people look at you driving it, they're not going to think it's old. They're just going to think it's cool. Well guys, that's my sum of why this car is such an undervalued and underrated vehicle. I mean, it literally goes 200 miles an hour, and it's a Bentley, for Christ's sake. Thank God it gets its, well, reliability from Volkswagen and its luxury from Bentley. Well, whoever said that the British and Germans couldn't get along? Thanks so much guys for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you want to see more of my content, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.